I don't know why it's doing that, but I'll just keep trying. And I guess if it kicks us off live again, then so be it. It's getting recorded, so we're good to go. But what did you take out of that thing? You know, what hit you the hardest?
Well, it's all related. You know, he's a medical doctor. You're talking about the Dr. Tennant video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all related, and he came to the same conclusion that we're just treating symptoms, that we're not really addressing the root cause, and you know he traced it back to certain circuit breakers within the body, right? You know, so that's what I just sent you another link that we can bring up while we're talking here.
Okay. I'll grab that rascal.
You know, and
what I'll do is we'll share it. I'll do a share screen here through Zoom.
Yeah.
And let me see here. I need to open up another browser here.
Well, that, you know, it comes from the website. It's some other business, but they talk about, I think they talk about supplements or something like that. Yeah, it's another supplement thing, but you know, it's all related, right? Because we need things to build a cell. You know what I mean? We need certain things to build a cell, and so it's quite interesting where, you know, you can get your negative charge from you know, from elements, from minerals, or you can get it from electricity itself, the pure source.
Right.
Yeah. So we on? Are you guys recording?
Yep, we are recording.
Oh, good. Okay.
And right now I'm in the process of trying to bring up this, bring this up, and then I'll go back to the live page so that people can see you. And my computer's running a little bit slow this morning. Morning there, Brother Wetz.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, gentlemen. Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, man, another beautiful day.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, Sean, did you get a chance to see that video? It's actually an audio. It's in video format, but it's just an audio. There's no video. But Sam shared it out yesterday from that Dr. Tennant.
No, I just caught you boys talking about it for a minute. I definitely want to dig into it.
Man, that was so cool listening to him talk about all the requirements of being able to build a cell in the human body, you know, and I was sitting there listening to it, and all I could think about was my niece, who sent out a post yesterday how she's sick again. She's got serious digestive problems, and she just keeps going to the doctor, keeps going to the doctor and complaining, and she won't try the water. She says it's too expensive, and it's just like, gosh.
Okay, then run. This is a conversation we can't continue to have. It's frustrating, and you want to beat your head against a brick wall because you obviously love her and you want to help her, but we can only lead horses to water. If they're going to sit around and fart around and not do anything, yeah, that'll drive you. You'll feel like Lloyd Bridges on Airplane when you pick the wrong week to quit sniffing glue too much.
That's so true.
I mean, that's it. It will drive you batty. So, you know, we just can't. Look, I'm 6th generation Montanan. I'm knocking on 500 machines, most of which I've done on my own, probably 400 of which I've done on my own, 75, 80%. I've got 9 people in my extended family and 3 people in my immediate wheelhouse, a brother, a son, and an aunt. And then the rest are, oh, you and your water. All I can say is whatever, man. I'm not going to your funeral when you buckle. And I'm not kidding you. I can't. I won't. I've got a buddy of mine I laid it down really real with the other day. Dude, you continue to jive what I'm talking about. I ain't coming to your funeral. And don't throw me on as a pallbearer because I'm going to throw you the big middle finger. Is that wrong? Maybe. But, yeah, you can't get people to be smarter than they are.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like, you know, we're in this situation as a society because of um, what we've been doing, right? We are what we are, right?
Right.
So if we're sick, then maybe what we've been eating or what we've been thinking or what we've been consuming is making us sick. And so you know, you just gotta let people kind of figure it out on their own, you know. And that's I think, you know, JJ, Sean, most of us have issues with trying to help people that we care and love about. You know, that we want them to change. True, right, JJ?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very much so.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what we want doesn't matter. What we want doesn't matter in the end. The only thing that matters
Exactly.
is what they want. And so that's why I stopped so much as preaching, as people will call it, but I just ask people what they want, and then I let them want it more than I do, because you know, I do go to people's funerals, you know, I do go to few people's funerals, and yeah, and it's a reality. It kind of puts more focus and more drive on you know, what we're doing and how we're helping people prevent the whole situation, you know. But you know, some people gotta learn the hard way. I had to learn the hard way. I got this scar on the back of my head from learning the hard way. Right. So, but it just, everyone's different. So.
Yeah, it is. You know, the thing about it is it's just so frustrating. When you love people.
Yeah.
That's what has been the hardest part about this business for me in this last 2.5 years, is just, it just hurts.
Yeah.
What do you do? You know, you get, but it's helped me. I'll tell you what, Sam, you really helped me a lot. You know, the first time you said to me, you can't care more for someone else's help than they do.
Mm. Yeah.
That really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
That's my language now. I mean, I'm done. I've just worked tirelessly to do that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you guys helped me come to terms with here recently. And it's like, I got to just stop and focus on anyone willing to listen. That's it.
Yeah. You know, it's just I think it's our human nature to want to improve the world and help people that we love, right? That's just part of being a good human being. Take care of the planet and whatnot. So part of that is caring. Is caring and giving of ourselves, giving of our passion and our time, right? But at the same time, we get so connected and so much value out of affecting that change, that when we bump our head against something that doesn't want to change, or someone that doesn't change, we get frustrated. It's kind of like a kid that wants to solve the puzzle or wants to ride a bike, but they don't know how to ride a bike and they get frustrated, right? And so it's that same concept that we want things to happen. But
kind of like me trying to solve a Rubik's Cube back in the day. After I'd get one side and nothing more, I'd want to throw that thing through a wall.
Yeah, exactly. So part of that is our psychology for wanting things to happen on our terms. But unfortunately, you know, when we force the issue, it doesn't really happen faster. Matter of fact, we can actually start to turn people away when we force the issue, and we get more stronger with our message, right? So let's say you guys ever talk to someone who doesn't understand English very well?
Oh, yeah. Every time I make a call to a company customer service line.
Exactly, right? So what's the first thing that you do when you talk to someone? Like, you talk louder, right?
Right.
Maybe you speak a little bit slower. You speak your English a little bit slower, right? But that doesn't work because they don't understand English to begin with, or they have a difficult time with English. English is their second language. And so what we have to do is we have to adopt the language that they do understand. And the same thing is with Kangen here. So if most people don't understand the language of prevention, most people don't understand the language of being proactive, right? Most people just all they know is, I'll take care of it when something happens. It's reactionary. And so, you know, so that's the language that you speak, because that's the native tongue for most Americans.
And we've been conditioned to accept complex things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I walk into a bathroom yesterday at the convenience store, and it talked to Sonny's got this whole ad about how they're 30% this and 70% biodegradable plastic, blah, blah, blah. And it's this huge read that, you know, I almost, if I'd had to go number 2, I'd yerked it off the wall and went and sat and read it for 15 minutes. But it's all complex. And it is, I almost wanted to do a meme with that picture and then do a meme with Kangen water and just put simple.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's
that's the thing. That's what people, you know, like you said, Sean, we've been conditioned to that. And you know, my effort is to bring a little bit more common sense back into everyday life, right?
Right.
Into science. You know, I'm a recovering scientist. I'm developing myself as a businessman, not a science person. But the science is always fascinating to me, and the science of psychology, human psychology, is very fascinating too. And so, one of the things is, why do we give others authority over us? You know, freedom is such a big thing in this country, right? For humanity in general, right? Freedom is such a huge deal. But in valuing our freedom, why do we let like talking heads like tell us things? Why do we listen to people in lab coats because they have white lab coats? I mean, I used to have a white lab coat. You know, what was the big deal? And we always, like, you know, all the parents want their kids to become doctors and nurses and engineers, and you know, it's like we always put these highly educated people or intelligent people up on these pedestals. But I mean, look at where our society is, thanks to all that intelligence. You know, we put chemicals on our food. I don't know, that's not very intelligent in my book.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, we have plastic in our water. We pay for water, bottled water. We drink acid, even though it's a byproduct of metabolism. It's just, it's not very intelligent. There's no common sense. And we keep listening to these folks, right? And so why is that? I think it's because we're too lazy to take ownership individually.
We don't want to think critically anymore. We just want to follow the status quo because it's easier, and it's like the popular kids in school, and you go through those things where you're doing what they're doing until hopefully something wakes you up to make you realize, I got to take a different path. Yeah.
And you know, that's what the video that JJ was asking me about, the work of Dr. Jerry Tennant. He's very fascinating. So I'm actually friends with I forget the Dr. Gerald Pollack over at the University of Washington, the 4th phase of water. That's also very interesting work. And they both know each other. They both know of each other's work. And they're both very good scientists in the sense that they keep questioning the status quo, you know. But intelligent people seem to think, just, you know. So yeah, JJ, do you want to bring up that one website and kind of scroll down a little bit? There's a little diagram of the pH chart.
I've been trying to do that, and I can't seem to get it to share on my end.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm having a hard time with sharing my screen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and perhaps you can share your screen.
Okay.
Get it from you.
Okay, let's see here.
When I see your screen, JJ, I think it's Jerry Garcia's Fire on the Mountain, Grateful Dead style, just for the record.
Okay, you guys see my screen?
Giddy up.
Okay.
It's not going on the live side, though. I wonder what I can do to... I'm going to try something. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, actually, it looks like my... Okay, everybody that's on the live side, I got to kill the live video. I'll start it back up again. So hang around. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so there's this little colorful chart here. It tells you millivolts in relation to pH. Right? And on the left, so anything lower than pH 7 is going to be positive millivolts, and those are electron stealers. So, Sean, do you see? I know you're driving there. Do you see the little colorful chart? I'll send a picture later.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now, bud.
Yeah, a little small maybe.
The pH.
Yeah. So this is traditionally they measure the voltage, the pH with a pH meter, but traditionally pH is from minerals. Are you cutting out there? Right. So I'll go over this chart a little bit. Maybe we can flash it up there later, JJ, when you make your post. But pH is partial hydrogen or potential hydrogen, right? And you have minerals, elements that actually are acidic or alkaline, based upon their ability to donate or steal electrons, right? And so normally it's elemental in the sense that it's minerals, right? What we have here is we have something that's very special. We have something that's electrical, right? And that's why most people, if you talk to a chemist, they're going to think it's chemistry. It's not electrical, right? And so they wouldn't really fully relate, because most of them don't know. They think pH is chemical, and they think electrical is those electrical, scientific engineers. It's not their work, but they're actually related. Everything is related, and it kind of drives home the point that we have just division of science. You have environmental science, you have body chemistry, you have biology. Everything's related in the world, but over time everything's been divided. And Dr. Tennant actually brings it back into a wholeness, a oneness, where everything is related. Yes, there's a reason why my blood is 7.365. There's a reason for that. And the most logical reason is that's the pH that all the chemical reactions happen at, and that equals a certain voltage that my body needs to run at. Okay, and so why wouldn't that be a common character? Well, why don't they teach that? Right? Because it would make too much sense. And so what we have is a bunch of talking heads with white lab coats on, whether they're in a scientific company or you go and you talk to them for 8 minutes and get your 2 prescriptions. It's mostly talking heads, and then turn on the TV. Let me know how many drug commercials you see per hour. It's kind of crazy. But they don't teach us this stuff because they don't want us to think for ourselves, and it's actually really our fault. It's our fault for not learning and just wanting to take the easy route. As a society, we just want to listen to the talking heads. They only talk because we listen. But if we don't listen and we turn them off, turn the TV off, then pretty much the ratings will go down and their show will get canned. Right. And so whether that's, we don't, the TV advertising works because it works. Because people do watch TV. Right. So, but does that chart make sense though, JJ? Do you see my screen there?
Yeah, well, it does, except for the part in the center where it says 0 millivolts.
Yeah.
Because we need voltage to be able to heal, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So that part where it says 0 millivolts is kind of confusing to me.
Yeah, 0 millivolts means it doesn't donate it doesn't have any electrons. It doesn't. It's neutral in the sense that it doesn't steal electrons or donate electrons.
But that's where the healing takes place.
I know, it's 7.365. It's slightly above that.
Oh, okay, right up just above the 7-point mark. And so that's when you've got maybe the negative 25 millivolts that he was talking about.
Exactly.
On the video.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So, if you really think about it, like every other animal on the planet walks around barefoot. True?
Yeah.
Right? And we know the Earth is a negative charge. Right? So they're in touch with this electricity all the time. They're getting all these antioxidants. They're getting this millivolt from the Earth. And they're eating plants. They're eating like leaves connected to plants connected to the soil. Right? They're eating fruits off of trees. They're just walking around out in nature all day long. And they sleep on the ground. Right? We are the only species that is disconnected from the Earth.
Right. And Sam, that's something I'd like you to touch on a little bit. You just reminded me of that from Dr. Tennant's audio video last night, where he was talking about how they're using fungicides on our food, on our plants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so because of that, the plants aren't able to go back to the earth, go back to soil again.
Yeah.
Because they're killing the funguses that they need to be able to break down to return back to the soil. And so, it starts this vicious circle.
True. Right
from the very beginning with the way they're growing our dang food.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that? What did you think about that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it is an ecosystem. I mean, we do a lot of things that are for our convenience. We do a lot of things to save time, right? Because let's say if you have an apple with a worm in it, so what are you going to do? You're going to cut that out, right? You're going to cut that out. And the farmer can't really sell apples with worms on them, so he sprays them.
JJ would eat it because it has protein and cyanide.
Yeah. So the things that we do in modern society, to be modern is to save time, right? Because who wants to grow their own food, right? Most of us do, but most people no. They just want to buy a 99-cent hamburger. They don't want to cook a meal for the kids. They got other things to do. I mean, they're working for $14 an hour. They got other things to do. Time is money for them, for most people, right? And so they look for things that are convenient and save them time. And so the very conveniences that we look for are the things that are making us sick. Because we have no time, because time is money. We spend it all, working for other people and not ourselves. And then we spend our youth, and then when we get old, we pay people money to take away our illness because we don't want to go on the diet. We don't want to cut the sugar out. We don't want to cut the chemicals or cola out because it's too hard. So it's just convenient. It's drug commercials work because of our laziness as a society,
Right.
But the chemicals, the same thing. The chemicals that they spray in our food, that kills all the mold and things like that is just the faster way of growing crops. You know, and so those chemicals, they stay in the environment and they do kill off the bacteria and mold and things like that are living in the soil. And so there's nothing living in the soil. The plants can't take that stuff off, can't it can't break down the nutrients, and the plant can't take those nutrients up into the leaves. And so that's why a lot of fruits and vegetables today don't have the nutrition that they used to like decades ago.
Right. Can you expand? Because there was one thing that he was talking about last night that I'm not sure I've got it exactly right, but it seems like what he was saying is that our bodies cannot absorb protein. They have to turn it into amino acids first.
Yeah.
And and I think this had to do with the fungicides, because the fungicides are stopping the body's ability to create, I think it was fumic acid.
Yeah, fumic acid. Yeah.
And
that's true. So anything that you consume has to be broken down to the basic building blocks, right? Amino acids, minerals, elements for you to build everything, right? They're like Lego blocks, right? You know, if someone's already built a little car of their Lego blocks and you want to build a little boat, you got to take the car apart. You got to break all the blocks apart. So the same thing, and so our body is it's a system. It's an ecosystem. You have the ecosystem like the pond and the environment, but inside your body is a pond too, is an environment that you have a lot of bacteria that helps you break things down. So let's say you eat a steak or something, or you eat some food, right? Well, the first thing that happens is you chew the food. That's a mechanical breakdown. So you break it down, you chop into little bits, right? And then the second step is it goes into your stomach and takes an acid bath. The acid bath kills all the bacteria that's on the food that might change the bacterial colony in your gut, right? And then the acid also helps it break further down. And then the next part is it leaves the bottom of your stomach and gets into the duodenum, where the acid gets neutralized from your pancreas right away, right? So you don't have acid running through your whole system, right? And then all the bacteria in there start to keep breaking it down. You know why, JJ, you know why at the bottom of the ocean, you don't find a lot of it's not a skeleton graveyard down there?
Where is that? Now, one more time on that.
Like at the bottom of the ocean, right? At the bottom of the ocean, you don't find like a whole bunch of skeletons of fish and stuff down there, right?
Right.
It's all recycled. Right,
because the water, the ocean, whatever, all that
just dissolves it, the bacteria, whatever's living there, the crabs, they just eat everything that falls down into the ocean, right?
Right.
Well, the same thing in our body. It's an ecosystem. We actually need all these bacteria in our gut to digest things. And so when you start using chemicals that kill all the bacteria off, pretty soon you can't digest things.
Right.
Let's say, for example, you eat an egg, right? So eggs have been around for thousands, if not millions of years, right? Now, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but I know the eggs have been around for a while, right?
Right.
So why is it there's kids today that are allergic to eggs?
Well, that's something that I want you to expand on, because, that video last night, that audio video presentation by Dr. Tennant just hit so many levels. It hit so many dang things. And, one of the things he touched on, and I can't remember exactly what the process was, and I think it had something to do with the fumic acid, and then it also had something to do with fluoride. But he was talking about how people are ending up with gluten allergies. Mm-hmm. And that's literally part of this system. Now, these people that have to go gluten-free.
Yeah.
What was that all about? Can you expand on that a little bit?
It's gut microbiome. It's the type of bacteria that you have in your gut. So you know that there are people that, like you said, gluten-free, they can't digest bread, they can't eat eggs, they can't digest milk, and they're allergic to tree pollen. You know, so how new is tree pollen? Like, did someone invent it like a few years ago, or like how long has tree pollen been around?
That's a good question. A long time.
Since, I mean, probably before humans on this planet, right? So why are we allergic to something that was here on this planet before us? It doesn't make any sense, right? Because we are earthlings. We were born on this earth. I mean, unless some people come from Mars, maybe, but for most people, they live on Earth. And so you can't be allergic to the air, right? So why are we all of a sudden allergic to air, and we have to take, Allegra or whatever, spray the things into our nose every spring? Why is that? It doesn't make sense, right? It's because
I think
don't have the bacteria.
Dr. Tennant pretty much spelled that all out. You know, it's like I need to go back and listen to that thing another dozen times, really, because I'm not sure I've listened to anything in the last 2.5 years that was more hard hitting than that video. And just for everybody out there, we're going to share this. I'm going to make sure that this link gets shared out onto the Conk family page with this presentation, so that you guys can go watch this. But it's about an hour long, and it's just got a picture of the doctor up there. And so it's not video, it's just audio. You're just listening to him talk. But what he has to say is so incredibly powerful. At the end of it, I was like you were saying, why is it that we're allergic to pollen? Why is it we're allergic to gluten? Why is it well, he absolutely spells it all out, exactly why.
Yeah.
But I'm not smart enough to be able to regurgitate it for people after only watching it the one time. So I need to watch it a bunch more times so that I can share it with people and help people understand, because it's like it all starts right at the basics. It's like you're always talking about simple science. It's the simple stuff.
Yeah. So you guys are seeing this website come up, right? The American Diabetes Association, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down and then show you this image here once it uploads here. But it talks about the paradox of progress, right? Environmental disruption of metabolism and the diabetes epidemic. So we know the external environment is being disrupted, with all our chemicals and lead paints and plastic. True? Yeah. Herbicides, pesticides. That's the big world. Okay? And so whatever is changing the big world, and you got hurricanes and whatever, climate change, and you got all sorts of stuff going on. True?
Yeah.
All that is happening outside, and we're just this clean little bubble that nothing comes in. Everything outside is eventually inside. Right. And it doesn't take a here, let me show this picture here. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that all these things externally are going to come inside our body. True?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a big funnel. It's a big funnel, and then you're the recipient of everything in the funnel. Whether it's in the soil, on the food, in the air, in the water, it's going to come in. And I tell you, when it comes in, it starts disrupting the body, whether it kills off bacteria or it imitates hormones, in the body, and then it starts messing things up, because these things were not around, 100 years ago. These things were not invented by nature; they're invented by the chemical industry. Rockefeller medicine, the Rockefellers, right? The Rockefeller family was all oil-based, Standard Oil, right? The Industrial Revolution, right? That's when we started changing healthcare. We started changing finances. We started changing everything. And so it goes back to it goes back to the let's see if I can escape this here. So it goes back to this. Here, if you look at this chart, what do you guys see here? You see
chemical
the blue line?
production and
Chemicals.
diabetes prevalence, no doubt.
Yeah, there's a strong correlation here. And you guys see how the angle here took a change in the mid 1990s. Okay. You see how it was going like a 30-degree angle, and all of a sudden shifted to like 45-degree angle in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys know what happened in the mid 90s?
Yeah. Talk to me.
Genetically modified foods and Roundup.
Ah.
Is that crazy? So you look up here. I'll look this up. So GMO food timeline. Let's see what comes up here. See if there's an image here. Hopefully this will come up here. See if it'll pop up. But it's kind of doing something that's kind of weird. That's too small.
You were starting to expand it right there, but yeah, we can just read the. There we go.
See that? Look at that. 1994.
In
Wow.
1982, the FDA approves the first GMO.
Yeah. You see that?
Then the onslaught starts.
Yeah. European Union mandates back in '97. They started labeling GMO. What do we have GMO labeling in the U.S.? No. Huh. The Europeans had it back in '97, guys.
But the tomatoes are labeled themselves because of the size of cantaloupes.
Right. So it starts to take off, right? And so now you see why things are progressing. So when you see JJ, when you see people with irritable bowel syndrome, right, whatever they want to call it, IBS, IBD, or whatever it is they call it, right? What do you think the cause is?
I think it's not having the right gut bacteria from all of these cruddy foods and such that are robbing our bodies of the essential amino acids that we need to be able to digest food and get what we need.
Yeah.
They're literally chopping us off at the freaking at the hip, or whatever. I mean, I'm not sure how to describe it, but
They're heading us off at the pass.
Yeah. So it's this type of thing, and this is fundamental. It's already here. Like, we can't go back to zero chemicals. And so so I tell people these things are already here. How long do you want these things in your body? That's all. It just your system. And unfortunately today, I think there was some information out recently where lifespan in America is actually decreasing. It's been decreasing for the past 3 years. So lifespan decreasing.
Hey, forgive me, boys. I got a boogie. I got a chiropractic. I just want to let you know. I'll check this out in its entirety later. Keep up the good work. I'm sharing the heck out of this one.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. We'll catch up with you later.
have a great day,
Word.
brother.
You too, boys. God bless.
God bless.
So,
So JJ, so this is bringing up, see, so it says life expectancy in America has declined. Let me pull some of this here. For 2 years in a row. Isn't that crazy? The Economist, right? And then I think there's a little chart down here. When ago. So, but there's here. See if I can bring this up here. You guys see that?
yeah, look at that. The only one that hasn't declined is Japan. Interesting.
And they all have GMO labeling, right?
What about Japan?
Yeah, they have GMO labeling. Yeah, they all label GMO. That's why a lot of countries ban chemicals and things that we allow as standard, as normal. You know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. Sam, I've got something else that I'd love to have you expand upon just for the crowd here to be seeing this. One thing about that video last night by Dr. Tennant is he doesn't talk about Kangen water. He does actually talk about alkaline water, but as we know, alkaline water and electrolyzed reduced water are two completely different things. But you know, the whole message of his video was that healing is voltage.
Mm-hmm.
So for those people, because I think I pretty much understand what's going on here and why this basically points out what's so important about Kangen water, and that's the voltage that it provides. Our body needs this voltage.
Mm-hmm.
But like if somebody goes and watches that and they're expecting to get some sort of Kangen water stuff out of it, they're not going to really get that because he doesn't talk about it specifically. But can you expand on how that video relates to Kangen water and how Kangen water comes into play to help us with these issues that are being created by the wreaking of our environment?
Yeah. So Dr. Tennant was talking about restoring health via voltage, right? And he was looking at, he defines health as the ability to build new cells, new functioning cells, right? Once you stop building new cells, then you start to age, right? You know, you look at bodybuilders. So bodybuilders build a lot of muscle cells, but they have to eat a certain number of calories to make and protein and things like that too, and drink a ton of water and have a bunch of energy to build all those cells. True?
Yeah.
Right. The same thing, to be happy and healthy on this planet, you got to build cells. You know, from baby into adulthood, you're adding a lot of mass, right? You're born at like 8 pounds or 7 pounds, and you know, a year later, you're like, you know, you're hopefully like 15 pounds or something like that. You know, and so you're adding mass, you're adding a lot of cells. And so what do you need to build cells? You need nutrition, right? You need electricity, energy, you need water, oxygen, like all these building blocks, you know, because his example was if your house gets hit by a tornado, you got to rebuild your house, right? You don't just buy the you know, a quick set door lock and a floor mat. You know, you need other things. You need wood, you need nails, you need insulation, you need electrical wiring, plumbing. You need all the building blocks to build a house. You don't just need the 1 or 2 parts. Well, there are some key parts to building cells, and that's nutrition, electricity, water, and oxygen, right? And that's what your body needs. And so how it relates to Kangen water is the electricity is usually made by you consuming food. It's a Krebs cycle. You know, your body can break down all this food and actually get to the energy source, right? That's in our food. not the calories, but the electrons, and convert all those things into electrons to build things. You're an engine. You're not a electric vehicle, but you are an electric vehicle in the sense that it takes you from birth to death, right? Yeah. You're not like a Tesla car, right? But you are an electric vehicle, right? And when you burn that food, that's how you make your electricity. And electricity is used to do all this work, whether it's fighting disease or building new cells, right? Or lifting your hand. That takes electricity, right? And so when you get a pure source of electricity, as in from the wall socket, electrons, and you put that into the water and you drink this water, you feel a rush of energy. You feel more awake. You feel, your body can actually has this energy to get rid of the chemicals and shed weight and shed chemicals and do work. And then your skin gets better, right? Because it's building new cells. And so that's how it all relates to the work that we're doing. Plus, it's providing the water that absorbs more quickly, and the electricity, right?
Right.
So that's how it relates, and it helps you detoxify all the chemicals too from your body, because that you're going to get chemicals into your body from your food and your drink, but how long do they stay in your body is the question. How long do you want them to stay? Right? And the sooner that you can push all these chemicals out, the cleaner your body can be. And that's how the body likes to be, right? The body doesn't like to be, have all sorts of chemicals on them. So, and then that's the, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
You remember Sam Tran? You didn't, yes. Did you get to meet Sam down in San Diego? I think
yeah.
Whether you guys got to meet down there or not.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
But this is my sweetheart. Have a great day, sweetie. Love you.
All right, HooDeeHoooo.
We'll see you
J-John
tonight.
loves you. He talks about you all the time.
Yeah, Sam, I'll tell you what, buddy. I gotta tell you, man, you are such an incredible blessing. I know you're a really humble dude, and you're not into accolades and that kind of thing, but I'll tell you, man, you are making such a difference in my life, and I just can't thank you enough for everything you're doing, for taking your time every month to come in here and share this value with the family, because this is life-changing stuff. If we can just get people to comprehend it and look at it. And I really think that video from Dr. Tennant, that if we can just get people to listen to that, and I think it's one of those things, I kind of like it because of the fact that it's not a video, it's just an audio. And so literally somebody could put that on their phone and they could be listening to it while they're driving down the road. Sure. And they don't have to watch anything. All they got to do is listen.
That's so true.
And it's so incredible how he spells that out. And, one thing I'd like to have you expand on a little bit more is that I know there's going to be people that are going to listen to this. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go, okay, yeah, I need electricity, I need water, I need nutrients. Why can't I just go with regular old, water? I just need water. Why do they need this special water? How can we kind of help them to understand that water is just water, but Kong's water is something completely different for a period of time after it comes out of that lightning bolt in a box. Yeah. And after a period of time, it just turns back into regular plain old water again. Can you kind of expand for people who might not understand that concept and as to why this water is so important to this whole process that we're talking about?
Yeah. So JJ, we both know that you're 3/4 water, right? A 100-pound person is going to be 75 pounds water. That's a big percentage of your every single cell, every single molecule. Actually, about 99.99% of the molecules in your body are water molecules, right? And by mass, you're 3/4 water, right? Unfortunately, you need water to survive. True? You can't go without maybe a week or 5 days without water. You know, you shrivel up and die, right?
Right. If you're not dead, you're wishing to God you were dead.
Right. And so what happens is over time is everything has become polluted, from the soil to the air to the water. And so when you consume that stuff, it comes into your body, right? And then it pollutes your body. And then you go take some more meds that, you know, you have symptoms of toxicity, right? So when the body takes on chemicals from either food or water or air, it will start to cough and sneeze things out. They'll start to have rashes. You know, that's the reaction to toxic things. Your hair falls out, whatever. You start having health issues, right? You can't digest food, you can't sleep, all sorts of stuff. That's the symptoms of toxicity. Well, the best way to get that out is to get a water that is actually clean. Now, you want to keep drinking tap water. Guess what? Are you getting more chemicals or less chemicals in your body? Right? You're getting more chemicals in your body because that's how you got here, was drinking tap water, right, or bottled water now. And so in order to chase those chemicals out of your body, you have to have something that's very clean, right? First of all, it has to be very clean. It can't have more additional chemicals. And what we do with Kangen is we actually take all those chemicals out, and we actually take things that are positively charged out of the water too. Hey JJ, you have a furnace at the house that you have to replace the air filter?
Yeah.
Everyone does, right? And so you ever hear of those electrostatic air filters where they have a charge to them?
I've never heard of those.
Yeah, so next time you go by the 16 by 24 inch air filter or whatever like that, you'll see some of them that have electrostatic charge, right? They have something that has a negative charge, like it's a big filter and has a negative charge, and you put it into your furnace, near your furnace, to filter the air. And because it has a negative charge, right, all the positive dust particles are going to stick to that thing, right? And then you throw away the filter, and then you get a new one. Right. That's what we're doing to the water. We're doing the exact same thing to the water. We're adding electricity to it to take all the chemicals and all the positive charged elements, right? And all the different charged elements, and we throw them out to acid water. And we get the negative charge electrons into our body to do work. So that's why this water is having an effect, you know.
So this brings to mind another question. We've got a fellow member of the Kong family who, I can't think of his name, but he's a big time workout dude. Like, he works at a gym. He drinks nothing but water. Mm-hmm. He is for his whole life, he has drank nothing but water, mostly bottled water, tap water, that kind of thing. And he trains people to work out. He works out super hard himself. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden he starts feeling bad, and he goes to the hospital and he finds out that he's got Hodgkin's lymphoma. And when he goes to the hospital, the first thing the doctors do is they tell him that he's dehydrated. Mm-hmm. And he says, what do you mean? How can I be dehydrated? Mm-hmm. All I drink is water. I drink like 2.5 gallons of water a day. How can I be dehydrated? Mm-hmm. My question to you is, how can he be dehydrated?
Okay, so there's dehydration, right? Is let's say you take a grape and you dry it out and you make it into a raisin, right? That you dehydrate food, right? So water is outside the cell and water's inside the cell, okay? So when you don't have enough water inside your cell, that means you're dehydrated. You might have a bunch of water on the outside, but the water on the outside doesn't count.
So why can somebody drink 2.5 gallons of water every day? Yeah. And be dehydrated and not be getting water in their cells? Can you expand?
Exactly. They have a lot of extracellular water they have a lot of water in their stomach and their, their bladder that they need to pee out. But what about is that all that water getting into your cells to clean out chemicals and to help the machinery of the cells, right? And so, it's kind of like JJ. It's like motor oil, okay? So you buy a case of motor oil and you want to go change the oil in your car, right? But the motor oil is sitting in the trunk, right? Is that really helping your engine with the motor oil in the trunk?
No.
No.
It's actually hurting your engine.
Yeah, it's got to be in the engine.
It's
got to be inside the cell, right? The cellular engine. It's got to be inside. It's not got to be in the trunk or on the back seat. The same thing with the water. So you have to have a water that will actually get into your cells, And then when you have water that has an electrical charge, the outside of your cells are a positive charge. The inside of your cell is a negative charge. So the water being a negative charge is actually going to get pulled into your cells. That's why when you drink this, it absorbs so much more quickly, right? And so that's what people. I mean, it's water. I don't know why people need to become a PhD in water before they drink this stuff.
Right.
Like
we said before. People will just eat any old thing that's shown to them on the TV or by their doctor, but all of a sudden, when we talk to them about Kangen water, they become a researcher.
Yeah, and I say, hey man, just if you're sitting there holding a Starbucks cup of coffee, asking me about why you should drink water, then I've lost you already. Because you're sitting there asking me all these questions about water, but did you ask Starbucks about all their coffee and where they get their water? You might have the best coffee, but if you're making it pond water, or water with plastic bits in it, or water with chlorine in it, or water with whatever pipe they got that water out of, how good's your coffee?
Right.
Some people tell me, oh, I'm vegan, I eat all this, I'm totally clean. Well, if you're totally clean and you're paying for all these supplements and you're breathing filtered air and everything, but then you drink water that's full of toxins, what's the point?
Right.
It's very basic, very fundamental, So.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, Sam, what a great episode of the show today. It always is, whenever we get the Samurainator in the house, we get something awesome to share out with people. And so, yeah, we've been going for an hour now, and so it's probably time to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But, I just want to thank you so much for coming in and sharing all this value. The people that are on the live side, the loves and the likes and stuff have just been flying up the screen like crazy. Ricky Bowden, he's been doing screenshots all the way along because he's going to make a post out of some of this stuff so that, that we can get this information out there. I mean, this is how we're going to accomplish our mission of changing the world is by simply educating people that are wanting to be educated. Yeah. And I'm just going to be, I'm going to be praying that I can get people to listen to that dang audio video from Dr. Tennant, because man, that was powerful stuff. Yeah. So JJ, I want to thank you for your effort and your efforts every day and in having different people on here bring the message, right? Because we are in the information age, true? Yes, absolutely. The students are missing. Yeah. Right. And so, but they'll come around. They'll come around when they have a crisis, or they come around when they have a tragedy. They come around on their own time. But part of being early to see something, part of being an explorer, part of being a researcher or an innovator, is being ahead of the crowd, right? Right. And so I thank you for sharing all of this out to people. And we know it is true, whether it's accepted as truth
is dependent on our work and our efforts that we share with people. And so they'll come around to it sooner or later. And so, you know, just focus our time on working with the people that are already at their timeline. You know, everyone's going to come into this on their own timeline. Like, how did I come into this? On my timeline. I didn't come into this because you wanted me to, or someone else wanted me to. I came into this because I was ready.
Right.
And that's what it's going to take for some people.
Now, when I want to just ask you a little bit about that, because weren't you, if I remember right, you were quite the skeptic about this water,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was.
Totally. I was, you know, JJ, you know, I come from the pharmaceutical world, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I ran the clinical pathology laboratory at Amgen up here in Seattle at their research facility. So I looked at all the blood work. My department was toxicology, and the smaller department was, they call it CBSS, right? So cell biology and safety sciences. That was the official name of my group, right? And so I looked at all the side effects of well, not all the side effects. I looked at the side effects that were presented that I could detect in the blood, right? Whether it's changes in you know, white blood cells or red blood cells or platelets, or changes in liver enzymes or amylase, not amylase, but ALT, AST, you know, different, you know, glucose levels, whatever the blood work that they do on you at the hospital, you know, at the doctor's clinic. They draw those tubes of blood. Well, that's what I tested, right?
Okay.
And so I was highly skeptical, because that's where my training was in, and that's where my paycheck came from. And so no one's going to bite the hand that feeds them. No one's going to question it. You know,
So what ended up changing it for you?
Well, I had like a midlife crisis at 38. I had all this on paper, and life was great on paper, but I hated coming into work. And so I started looking for other ways of finding inner peace and things like that. But what really motivated me was an event where I fell and I hit my head back here, and I went into a coma, and I experienced the afterlife. And then after that, I came out of that coma, and then I said, man, I got to do something different with my life. You know, I got to stop wasting time. And so that's 6 months later, I walked away from my career. And I said, I don't want to waste any more time. You know, I think what really prompted me was experiencing healthcare as a patient. You know, most of us are pretty young and healthy. And so we never experience anything firsthand, but experience is a very good teacher. And so when I experienced healthcare as a patient, you know, the doctor was about to put me on all sorts of pills. And I said, no, I'm going to research the hell out of this and how to heal myself naturally. And so that's when I started finding little things like, wow, these things actually work. And so that's why I got to some point where I just said, do I deny what I just found? Or do I deny what I already, you know, I'm already suspect of? You know, by suspect, meaning that I was in healthcare, but, you know, being a person in healthcare, being a healthcare professional, you don't want to partake in it. You know, it's kind of like being a crime scene investigator, right? You don't want to be in the, you know, you don't want to be like the person being investigated, because it's a crime scene investigator, right? Where, you know, you investigate car accidents for a living. And so you never want to be in a car accident, because you only see bad stuff, right? Well, what the heck is an emergency room except for like a body accident?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so you don't want to, that's why most healthcare professionals want to avoid being a consumer of their services. And so that's where I was. And so that's why I started focusing on prevention and staying healthy. So, but that's how I arrived. But that was on my own timeline. Now, I was a huge skeptic. I actually knew about this when it first came to America 15 years ago.
Wow.
But You know, I've only been involved with Enagic for 3.5 years, because for like 11 and a half, 12 years, I was a skeptic.
Wow.
Oh, it's BS. It's hogwash. I'm like, no, this is more real than anything else I've ever come across. And
I for one am so happy and grateful that you lived, that you came back, and you know, I got to give you a heads up on somebody that I'm going to be pushing into your wheelhouse here real soon. As soon as I get him on Facebook, his name is Ralph Foyer, and I had him on the show last Wednesday to share his story, and he actually died for 10 minutes. He was out on his front lawn, no circulation, no blood flow, for 10 minutes. And amazingly enough, he can still think. They brought him back to life. They were just about ready to write him off, and he came back. And I really think that, you know, just like you and Ricky, you guys kind of went through the same sort of similar kind of thing. And I think Ralph kind of went through that as well. And so I told him, we got to get you on Facebook so I can get you friended up with my buddy Sam Tran, because you're going to want to learn from this guy. You're going to want to, you know, share stories. He's going to be interested to hear what you went through, and he's had his life turned around in a huge way by utilizing Kangen water. And you know, it's a really powerful story, and those kinds of stories really, you know, one of the things he said at the end of the show is he said, I don't believe that there are any coincidences in life. He said, everything that happens in this life is for a reason. People you meet, the things you go through, whatever they are, they're all for a reason. I do not believe in coincidence. And I thought, man, that's powerful stuff right there.
Yeah, it is. Everything is connected. Everything is related. You know, and unfortunately, divide and conquer is a tactic that's used by a lot of people that want to rule other people, right?
Yeah.
Whether that be physically or politically or spiritually or whatever it is. So divide and conquer works because it works.
Yeah, a timeless strategy by evil people.
And,
so yeah, brother, gosh, I sure appreciate you coming in with us again. Look forward to seeing you again next month. And, you know, keep up the great work, and, you know, just thank you so much for everything you do. You add so much value to this family. And, you know, we got a lot of work to do. We got a world to change.
That's right.
You know, like I tell everybody, we are the Kong family. We have a really simple goal. We're here to change the world, and we're doing it. One glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, incredibly hydrating and electric Kong's water, 9.5 at a time, one lightning bolt in a box, one amazing, incredible, blessed guest at a time. And thank you so much again, Sam.
Thank you, JJ, for having me.
Have an awesome day. I know you will. Look forward to seeing more stuff, learning more stuff, and sharing the word and spreading it out to the world for us to accomplish our mission. So
thank you, buddy.
Cool, buddy. I love you so much.
Good work, okay?
Do not forget your hugs, buddy. Give yourself a hug. Come on, you can do it. There you go. These are important. You need those personal hugs.
All right, I'm looking forward to the replay, buddy. I'll catch you later. Keep up the good work.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.